Okay, this little guy is providing more light than I thought he was going to. Hello, I hope you're doing well. It is a cold, snowy day outside, and I thought it might be a good excuse to just kind of sit down and film. I pretty much just finished updating this new little piece of my planner system here, quite literally today. So I'm gonna go ahead and talk about that. This right here is like kind of the next evolution of my rings planner journey. It is what I am calling my project planner. So for a very long time, I was having all of my daily planning and all of that in the same place as my like project planning, as like my goal planning. And I have very recently decided to separate those things into different books. So this is going to hold all of my projects and goals and tracking those things. And let me get it out. My daily planning is officially moving over into a traveler's notebook, which is not set up yet. I'm still waiting on the cover that I purchased for this, but I've just kind of been messing around in like one little book for now. I initially got it with the intent of using it as a journal, and actually I am using it as a journal too, but I have another setup that I'm also going to use for like daily planning and stuff. But yeah, okay, let's stay focused here. So anyways, daily planning, life planning, stuff like that is going to go in like a traveler's notebook, but project planning is gonna go in here. And I finally finished setting this up today. So this is my little project planner that I have so far. I made tabs for it. Let's see, how do I describe this? So how this is gonna work, I think. Can I bend this? Oh, I can, okay. So how this is gonna work, I think, is I am gonna have each of my projects separated into its own little individual tab. So I don't know if you can see them, hopefully you can see them. I actually made tabs and numbered them, and also added little doodles and different colors to help me kind of like differentiate between them. And I'm realizing now that I made them way too small. I probably needed to make these tabs a little bit bigger because quite honestly, it's a little difficult to see. Anyway, so each of the projects is going to go in its own little tabbed section that I have here. So what that is gonna look like is each project will have its own tab, its own home, where it will have all of its to-do lists, all of the information and notes and everything associated with that one project, and it can all live in its own little tab section. So the issue that I was having before is that my project to-do lists would kind of end up cluttering up my daily to-do list space, and it just got kind of messy and felt like overwhelming, like there were just too many things on my daily to-do list. And then also like my projects would get kind of disorganized. And then I should probably explain what I mean by project. For me right now, projects kind of mean like videos, like making a video is a project for an example. Like making progress with practicing art, that's kind of a project right now, a less well-defined project, but kind of a project. But yeah, a project is anything that supports my overall goals. So my goals are going to be sort of like supported and made up of a bunch of little projects that will help me get to that end goal. I feel like I'm really getting off track here. So that's what a project is. Okay, we're back on track. That's what a project is. And each of those projects, as I was saying, will live in its own little section here. And side note, that is nice because now for daily planning stuff, I like don't have to clutter it up with project stuff. Like that can just live in here. And then honestly, like my like day-to-day like life planning stuff is super basic. It's super basic. It doesn't take up that much space and it's not that complicated. So like that feels like it's more simple and less overwhelming. And then this other project and goal stuff stays organized. And I am quite happy here with this system. I was having a lot of issues with that before I kind of like switched over to this. This is a very recent switch for me. Like I would say within like the last, maybe week, 2 weeks. How long have I been doing this for? Probably a week. I've only really been here for like a week. Yeah. And so my daily planning is going to move into a traveler's notebook. And I think I'm actually just gonna use an undated like grid insert. And I've like kind of just been using this almost like bullet journal style to like kind of just fill in whatever I need. Which right now the layout I've been going with is I will have like a main quest for the day, which is just my top priority for the day. And then under that I'll have some like side quests, which is just another smaller to-do list that is not main priority, but also, you know, I want to try and do. And then that's kind of it. It's like I said, it's really simple. There's really not much to it. Because I've realized that aside from like planning these larger projects, my day-to-day planning is honestly really pretty boring. It's pretty straightforward. It's pretty boring. There's not a lot going on. It gives me a chance to kind of like just doodle and have fun, and try different things. And yeah, it's both keeping me on track and helping me remember what I need to do, and also just kind of fun. So yeah, that's been great. But my overall plan with this TN, which I don't have yet, but I will have one insert for like daily planning, and then one other insert for probably just like the months and weeks. And then I'm thinking of maybe having one other insert for like health tracking stuff. But I'm not sure about that one yet. We'll get there when we get there. But this has been good for now. But yeah, so this whole project planner thing has allowed me to greatly simplify like what my daily planning looks like. Which also means that things are like much less likely to get lost in like the noise, if that makes any sense. Like I'm way less likely to forget like the very few yet important life things I need to do when it's not buried under a project to-do list, which is a to-do list that's going to take me a much longer time to do and may not necessarily all be relevant to that one day. I don't know if that makes any sense, but like having that separation has been like super helpful. So that is that. Anyway, back to the project planner. What I have for this project planner here, each of these little project sections is where my projects will live. So it starts out with like a project title page. And on that title page, I have a few little prompts for myself, like so like the project title. I have a little status bar up here, like for started, in progress, and done. I have a place for me to jot down how many hours the project took when it actually completes. I have a place for me to write a like brief description of the project, just so I can kind of be reminded of like what I'm doing here. And I also have a few prompts below that as well, like what goal does this project support? Like, why am I doing this? Why is this important? Should I be doing this at all? Kind of thing, just to help me like direct myself. And then also like what marks this project as like complete, because I have a tendency to just like continuously extend projects, and then they never end. So this is like what is my end like goal kind of look like with this project. And then I have some space for like notes, and then I have a little space to jot down a reward that I will give myself for completing the project. They're probably gonna be like mostly like just small little rewards, not necessarily big things, although it'll depend on the project, I suppose. Some projects might be more difficult and time consuming and would thus warrant a larger goal. And then on the side, I have a little chart here to basically jot down like when I worked on the project. I don't know if you can see because it is kind of tiny, but I have like the months listed up above here, and then like days of the month down here. And then I can just use this little graph to check off like what days I worked on the project. So let's see, let's say I worked on it on the 3rd of February, and then I continued to work on this project all the way to like the 10th or something like that. I would just fill that in with some, I think I'm gonna use check marks to do that. But I could also just do a line to show like when I worked on it. Because I realized like, so I also have a place for like a start and an end date for the project, but that doesn't always tell me a ton of information, because just because I started it on one day and then I ended it on another, that doesn't tell me how many days I actually worked on it in between there. So I thought maybe viewing it in this little checkbox thing would be helpful. Let me see if I have an example of that. I think I do actually. Yeah, so like even making this project binder was a project. So yeah, that's what I did here. So here's my project planner set up, and then here's the days that I worked on it. A checkbox, check mark indicates that I worked on it that day, and then a little dot means that I did not work on it that day, so that I can see when I worked on it, how long I spent on it, that kind of thing. So that is that. And that is just the first little page, which is just meant to like give some general information. And then after that, I have what I am calling my quest log. It's just like a sort of like hours/daily log where I'll just write down what day I worked on the project and like how long I spent on it, and then what I did. It's just so I can kind of keep track of how long I'm spending on each section within my project, just for like my information. Cause honestly, like I kind of just, so I have a few things happening. I have a really bad sense of time awareness. So often I don't understand or realize like how long I've been working on something, or how long certain things take me to do. So I'm hoping just by tracking that stuff, by recording that information, I'll be able to like look back at it, and then like learn how long it takes me to do things. Which ideally at some point in time could just make me slightly more efficient, because maybe I'll look at this and be like, oh yeah, I'm spending a lot of time on this one aspect of this project, but I could probably do it this other way and that would be quicker, kind of thing, if that makes any sense. Another thing that I like it to like help me realize is very, very often I think I have time to do something, and I don't. I don't at all. Like I think I'll be able to complete something within a certain amount of time. And then I often just get really disappointed in myself when I don't manage to do that. So this will help me get like an actual realistic understanding of how long it takes me to do things, which, like I said, sometimes it doesn't even matter how many times I've done the thing. I'm probably still gonna forget how long it took me to do it. So this is like kind of me just collecting data on myself so that I can learn these things because yeah, my memory's not so great, and again, my time awareness not super good. So that's what this is. And then I also have you'll notice I'm going with the theming of questing here quite a lot. I just react better to these words than priority or to-do list. I don't know, it just feels more fun to me, and it's more exciting to look at. I don't know, that's my reasoning for that, I guess. So this is what I'm calling my main quest line, which is me like kind of breaking down all of the stages of the project into like really big chunks, like big overall chunks. And then each of those chunks, I have a little space here to put like smaller chunks of them. Because I have found that like if I don't kind of like really focus on like one like little thing at a time, I have a tendency to kind of get like lost in my tasks kind of. But if I like really break things down into very small like bite-sized pieces, I am like much more likely to stay on task. And as long as I manage to keep those tiny bite-sized pieces like actually organized, I like have a much better time actually completing things, which is nice. So that's what this is. Again, there's like big chunks of projects will go here. Like say, for example, I should be giving examples of these things. For example, like filming a video, like chunk one would be like film, edit, upload. I don't know. They're larger chunks in the process, and then like little pieces inside of that would be like setup to film, like charge the camera, get out the tripod, stuff like that, like little tasks for things like that. Yeah, so that's what this is. And then I also have like some extra just blank paper that I print out, and I have extra of these if I need to add more in here. But I also have a blank spot where I can just put like other to-do notes, like if I just need to write down extra notes or like an even smaller to-do list for the project that I'm working on. I have like just blank paper to do that. And that's what these are. Let's see. So I also I made a couple of very quick little tabs to mark two very important sections in this planner. So the first one I have here, and these were like just super quick. I just needed to mark these pages. So I basically just took some like, I think this is like Nina cardstock paper, and kind of like sloppily, honestly, like cut it out and just made it so it sticks up above everything else so I can quickly find these little spots. But one of them is just marking the current to-do list that I'm working through, because I need to have that pretty much readily available when I'm actually working on something, because I will get sidetracked and distracted without it. And the other one is marking my little Pomodoro planner sheet, which I have mentioned before. Yeah, it's still around. it's still being used in my project planner. So basically what it is I write down my overall work goal for that little session, that little work session that I'm gonna do. And then I take that goal and I break it down into very, very small tasks in order, as well as the time that I started. And then I kind of do like a little check-in, like every 30 minutes, like a Pomodoro, right? Like I set my Pomodoro. I don't know exactly why this works so well for me. This is probably excessive for a lot of people, but it does definitely, like, it gets me going, if that makes sense. Like sometimes I have a hard time starting something because, like, I don't know, I can't like focus on the one thing I need to do to start. I'm thinking of all of the things that I need to do for the entirety of the task, to the point where it just feels like overwhelming. And like listing them out and just being like, okay, I just need to do this one thing right now. Here's my timer, go, has been working really, really well. I don't know if this is helpful to anybody else, but oh my gosh, this has been so helpful to me. I love this thing. So that is the Pomodoro section. Let's see, what else is in this planner? I added like a little, I guess I should talk about the decor. There's not a lot of decor yet. I'm still working on my, like aesthetics and just making it look nice. But I've made more of an attempt than I normally do, at this stage in my planner. So that is nice. All I have so far though is, like I stuck one of those like little self-adhesive like business card holders to the front. And then I have this like little pattern paper that I stuck in here. And I have the same paper here. And eventually I will put something here. I don't know what, but I want to layer in some other things in here. But that is just there for now. I have my little cat here on the side. This is my encouragement cat, reminding me that I'm doing a good job. I'm not a watercolorer, but watercolorist. I don't know how to do watercolor, but this is like one of the first and only watercolor things I've done, and I liked it, so I stuck it in here. And then I have one of my favorite, I guess, illustrations that I've ever done, which is also one of the last illustrations that I've actually completed, and that was a while ago. So I'd like to keep making more art, but yeah, so that is there. It's just this little bear in a canoe, and his little frog friend has got his own little viewing port at the bottom there of the canoe. And then these stickers are from Erin Ware, from her printables, and they're super beautiful. So I've been sticking those throughout here too. I've been using more printable stickers lately, and I want to actually use more printable stickers. So I've been sticking more of that in here. So that is that. And then I have some sections that are not totally complete in this planner. Like I have a place where I will be putting my goals, like large, not necessarily large, just long-term, like long-term goals will go in here. And the whole idea is that all of these, you know, projects that I'm doing over here will be supporting those goals. So this section is still something that I'm working on, and that'll take time, that's okay. And then I also have a section where I think I am going to put my word of the year, and like occasionally come in and reflect and journal on that. So again, a blank section. I haven't done that yet. In fact, I still haven't picked my word of the year. So that is that. And then I have another little space here for next month, like upcoming months, for me to do some like kind of planning for like months coming up if I like have things that I know I can write down in here or that I want to add to that. I haven't done anything here yet, but I do have the pages ready for when that happens. My monthly section is a bit intense. Again, a lot of this stuff here is made to like help me have time awareness, I guess, and not get distracted. That's pretty much the entirety of what my month section is about. So I have a very basic monthly calendar, nothing exciting or fancy. I have a spot to write my monthly quests or goals, like what are the main projects that I want to complete for that month. And then I have some sort of nitty-gritty hours tracking stuff, so I can see how much time I am spending on my goals, kind of. So yeah, that's about it. That's really all this page is. I was trying to see if there's like more explanation I need here. Not really. It's just a hours tracker, so I can write down how long I've spent on these projects and my goals. And then I also have a little section here to indicate my quote-unquote spoons level or energy level. If I am low or out of spoons, I want to know when that happened in the month. And I want to see if I can see any kind of patterns between my energy levels and like what's going on in the month, if that makes any sense. So that's all that is. That's really it. The rest of it is just more hours tracking stuff. Yeah, that's kind of it. I also have a spot to plan out like future projects and things that I want to do coming up. So like, you know, let's say I'm working on a project right now and I do really want to finish that, but I have this idea for another project that I also really want to do. I have a place for it so that I don't forget it and I don't get distracted by it. That goes in my future projects section. Yeah, I think that's kind of it. I tried to decorate my tabs a little bit so far. I still want to do some more decorating there. These are also from Erin Ware. It's from her printables. I think I got these ones when I signed up for the newsletter, maybe, I think. But yeah, these are from Erin Ware. And then this is from, I don't know if I'm saying their name right, but this is from Hayamina, whose Patreon I recently joined. And I really, really love their artwork. It is, oh, please focus, because it is adorable. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it is like some of my favorite stuff. So I put that in there. That's from their Patreon. I have some Animal Crossing pictures. That's really it. It's just stuff to kind of like brighten up and make the space a little bit more my own. And like I said, it's still a work in progress. Like I'm still adding things to it. That's kind of it. That's really it. This is just all of my goal and project stuff, project tracking, goal tracking. Yeah, that's really it. That's really like the sole function of this book. And I gotta say, it feels really good to have it all in one spot. It feels really, really good to have it all in one book. I feel like, I don't know, my brain feels calmer, if that makes sense. Having things externally organized and feeling secure and that I'm not going to forget about them makes me a lot calmer. Yeah, I think that's what's happening. So that's what this is. And then, like I said, I don't have the full setup yet, but eventually my daily planning is going to go in a traveler's notebook. And that is kind of it for my planning. I'm in 2 books. It feels good. It's not bad. Still working on it, but I feel comfortable here. I feel a lot more comfortable with these things separated like they are than I did when I was trying to like make myself fit into 1 book last year. Like I tried with the Hobonichi cousin, and that didn't really work out so well. And I kind of tried again also with rings, which worked better, but still just was a little too chaotic for 1 book. But this feels good. It's still a work in progress, but as it is right now, this feels very, very good. And then, so I was going to use this, my Hobonichi Weeks here, as my like health tracking and routine planner, and that was not going very well. I wasn't reaching for this book, and that whole thing, like health tracking and stuff like that, is important enough that it needs to be in a place that I am going to reach for and use without any sense of friction, if that makes any sense. And this was just not really doing it for me. So I've changed the use of this book yet again, and it is currently being used to track my my plant stuff. So I just write down like when I watered plants, if I did any plant things. Yeah, that's it. Plant care updates. It's just me writing about and tracking my hobby. That's about it. It's pretty straightforward. And it's working really, really well for that. And then in the back, since I got the Mega, I'm using this to do like some note taking and stuff like that. It's kind of commonplacing, kind of just note taking on like plants and just learning a little bit more about my plants and how to better care for them. Like things that I want to do. That's really it. Yeah, that's, but it's not very complicated or anything, and there's not much to it, but honestly, I've been having a lot of fun in here. I've only really been using it like this for like a few weeks. Yeah, really just the last few weeks. So yeah, that's this one. I'm very happy with it like this, actually. Other than that, I have another traveler's notebook. I have 2 now. Well, I have one on the way. This is the one that I initially got. And this is where my journaling is gonna go. And I have been having a lot of fun in here. This has been such a fun, like, journaling space. Yeah, so again, there's really not much to this, so it's not very complicated. I only have right now 2 inserts in here. So I have a weekly insert where I kind of just quickly jot down like notes on the week and things that happened, any little like random details that I feel like writing down that I might want to look back at later on. And then over here, I have a blank, let me see if I can find the page. I have a blank like grid notebook where I am going to be doing more memory keeping like type stuff. So I really want to take a lot more photos this year. And this is just a place for me to stick them and put them in little spreads so that I can actually look back and remember what happened. Yeah. I feel like I've talked for too long and I should probably stop talking, but I'm trying to remember if there's anything that I forgot to do. Have I mentioned that I'm having a lot of fun in this like insert? It's just a grid insert and I've been doing my daily planning in here. and like a lot of just random doodling, and I'm still playing with the layout and the spread, but I am having fun in here. I am having a lot of fun in this notebook. And lots of doodles, lots of like freedom. I don't know, I'm having fun in here. Like it's simple planning. There's not a lot to it. It's truly just like, here's a small to-do list for the day. Here's my main focus for the day. Here's some meal stuff. That's really it. Like there's really not a lot to this. It's not complicated. And yet it's nice. Like it feels good to have such a small and simple like day-to-day planner space. It feels like kind of just manageable. And yeah, I don't know. I feel good in here. Lots of random doodles. I'm having fun. I feel good. I have another idea that I'm kind of still working on, that I haven't quite put together yet. That's kind of my next project after I've completely finished this, which is pretty close. But what I also want to have is one more binder, which I'm calling my like breadcrumbs binder. I guess, so let me explain. So I've been putting this little section in my day-to-day planner titled breadcrumbs. And really all it is it's a reminder to look at a list somewhere else. And right now those lists are just two little routines that I need to remember to do. So I have a morning routine that I'm trying to maintain, and I have a little cleanup routine after dinner, which I'm trying to maintain. And in order for me to like do those routines, I need them kind of like written out in detail somewhere, because I probably won't remember the routine. Yeah, I won't remember the routine unless it's written out in detail. So I need that, but I also need a reminder that that routine and that list exists. So that's kind of what the breadcrumbs are. It's just leading me to another place that I need to look in order to do something. And I think how I'm going to do that is I have yet another binder where I am going to put my bread loaf. So my breadcrumbs will lead me to the bread loaf. Silly, but it works. And anyways, in there I will have those kinds of lists. So I'll have a list for my morning routine. I'll have a list for my after dinner routine. And then, I don't know, I kind of want to put other things in there too, like not just breadcrumbs. Sorry, not just like routine stuff. Like I wouldn't mind doing, I don't know. I'm still playing with this idea. It's something that is still kind of like it's not concrete in my brain. It's still very malleable, very mushy. So that's what that is. I haven't had a chance to set that up. I only just set this up, but I like the idea. And then also I think in an ideal world, I would have in these routines like kind of habits that I need to do on a regular basis, like drinking enough water, getting in some movement, taking my vitamins, reading, meditating, all of those health habits that I want to kind of like incorporate. I want them to kind of be in these routines. Like I wanna chunk things together as much as possible so that it feels like it takes up less mental space, if that makes any sense. Like, I don't know, for whatever reason, it does feel better in my brain to just have like, oh yeah, I just need to do my morning routine. And this morning routine takes me 30 minutes. And if I do this 30-minute morning routine or whatever, or even less, ideally less than 30 minutes, if I do this little morning routine, I will have done all of these little health habit things that I need to do. Like, and then I won't have to think about them anymore. I don't know if that makes any sense. So it's like, if I could just chunk together all of the little health habits that I need to do into like a few routines that I can like set aside for certain times in my day, and then I don't have to think about them again. Like, that to me would be less mental overload than having to look at that big list of all of those little health habits all of the time in front of me. Again, I don't know if I'm explaining this very well, but like, yeah, I don't know. Something about that makes me feel better. It's like, I know that I've taken care of all those things. I don't have to think about them anymore. And I'm also not trying to evaluate each of those little things in a giant list. It makes my daily layout more simple, and less overwhelming, even though these look slightly chaotic and messy right now. But yeah, so that's what that is. In addition to that, I have like my little hours tracker down here. Yeah, that's really it. I am really getting along with this insert. I know it's just a grid insert. This could go anywhere. This could go in any grid notebook. But like the overall, I still haven't found my perfect layout, but the content on the page is working well for me. Yeah, so that is that. And I don't know why I'm closing this. This stays open all the time. This is like pretty much always open on my desk. But that is kind of it. That's really it. I have 2 books here for planning, and I have 2 books for journaling, and maybe a few accessory things that I will be adding, like the slice of bread thing, and my little plant planner, and also like a reading journal, and a few other things. But like, if I really had to just have these here, like, I would be fine. Like, I would get along fine, right? Like, I would be covered. And if I truly had to just have like 2 books for some reason, I don't know, like some sort of, you're going to a desert island, you can only take 2 books. What are you taking? I think I'm taking these. Although if I'm going to a desert island, it might be kind of exciting. Maybe I want a journal. I don't know. You get the idea. There's not a lot of books here, and yet I feel like my needs are basically covered. And it's a good feeling. It's still a work in progress. I'm still kind of finishing putting things together, but I like the direction they're going. Yeah, that's about it. Thank you so much for stopping by and listening to me ramble for way too long, I'm sure. I hope you're doing well. I hope your year's going all right so far. I had some interesting life things happen early this year, and I've been trying to deal with those. But we're getting through it. We're on the other end of it, I think. So yeah, hopefully your year's been going well. Hopefully your planners and journals are working out pretty well for yourself. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye.